Hello everybody and welcome to another toy review. In today's video I'm taking a look at another figure from the Chinese manufacturer JAKI. I've seen it written as JAI and then QI, also JAKI, so I'm not sure of the exact pronunciation, but it says kind of JAKI, so there we go. This is part of their literal translation here. Machine Change British Union. Yeah, so I've called it Machine Union. That's what I'm going to be referring to this series as. And this again is another fembot. This is the Shadow Alliance's only fembot warrior. Her name is Bilfar, I believe her name is, and yes, she works for the bad guys, the Shadow Alliance, and she is a explosion-proof car. Yes, quite. She's probably one of the most unrealistic of the series. I mean, if we take, for example, their McLaren, that's quite clearly McLaren. Her, yeah, not so much. She does come with a weapon. It is a large gun. Again, the paint application on some of the weapons is a little bit lackluster. The weapons feel like cheap Chinese weapons you get with some of the dodgy bootlegs, but the bots themselves, they feel very professionally made. There's a lot of die cast in there, and they're a great mix of die cast and various forms of plastic. Now, she's not without her faults, but majority of the faults lie in her robot mode. As it stands, I mean, she does roll quite nicely, especially on this base, but as you can see, there is some paint kind of chipping where they've painted over certain things, and things have bashed and rubbed against each other. Underside, there's quite a bit of visible bot mode, and this is the biggest problem that I've seen on this figure. This really does hinder her. It's not something we can't deal with though, but I'll get her transformed up into her robot mode first so we can see exactly what the problem is. Right, let's have these side pod sections, and that allows this piece here to fold upwards. These leg pieces separate, and that allows us to fold this all the way down, then bring the feet outwards and split the toe and the heel spur. You can then bring this crotch piece all the way in, bend this out, and then bend the joint inwards to split those leg pieces. Now, separating these shoulder pieces, you want to allow access for this slot. Bring these up and over through this gap. You want to do that for both sides. Once you've got one down, it becomes a lot easier. Unfortunately, I don't get instructions with these. Toys didn't send any through at this time. It's not overly complex. Just need to make sure these shoulders lock down into that joint and they pop down there nicely. But like I said, it does have to slide through that gap, and the clearance is somewhat minimal. Making sure that these side pods are brought over the side of the shoulders, we can then bring her head up, and again the clearance is a little bit to be desired, but that can come up, and once that's up, these can now collapse into this cavity. So you want to rotate them back on themselves, drop those in, and then fold these over to the back. You can then rotate this shoulder upwards, bring the forearm down, and rotate the hand, and then there's these shoulder flap pieces which come up. They're incredibly stiff, and just bring those up on either side. Now, it is entirely optional. You can tab this piece back together. Normally I leave it untabbed and kind of have it spread a little bit over those shoulders, but I believe you're meant to tab them both together. And there we have a fully transformed gun in hand. And doesn't she look fabulous. Now, what some people are doing, they're coming around to the back of the head because it hinders her left and right motion. We can rotate the head around fully, and we can just unscrew this piece on the back here.
So let's just take this off.
There we go. This piece is then just tabbed in. So we should then just be able to mount the head back on the torso, and there we have it mounted on there without that hindrance piece. We've got a nice left and right motion. Some of them have also shaved off some of these pieces here as well, just so we can get a very natural pose. I don't think the angle that they've got them cut is quite right. I know there's a post over on TFW 2005. I'll try and include the link below where people have started to like shave bits off from the arm joints a little bit here just to allow for better range of motion. So yeah, these are definitely modifiable. Is that a real word? Yeah, I'm sure it is. But yes, I like how she looks. You know, she's quite chest heavy, and the blue is kind of almost aquamarine. It's difficult to capture that on camera. My camera really struggles with the blues and purples, so I will have to try and correct this whilst editing the footage. But yes, she stands proud. She kind of reminds me of a cross between Black Arachnia and Strong Arm. And here she is alongside Ling Yao, our other fembot from the line. I do love the sheer difference in size, bulk, heft that all of these figures have. And as previously mentioned, these are going to be displayed in my Multiverse Generations kind of Titans Returns display, where they've ventured to different planets across the multiverse and found warriors to fight for their sides. Now, Bilfar weighs in at 180 grams, that's 6.34 ounces, and stands around 7.5 inches tall. That's about 18 to 19 centimeters. Articulation wise, the head does go left and right. We can look up and down. Downwards motions very much to be desired, and we do have a little bit of tilt left and right. Now the shoulders can go forwards and backwards, or there is some hindrance with these shoulder pads unless we flip these down. If these are down, then the hindrance is next to none. I mean, I actually prefer them being down, but I believe the official transformation is that they are up. We do get a ratchet joint on the elbow, and we do get some sideways elbow action. We get rotation on the wrist. The waist, unfortunately, is all one solid lump. Lots of die cast goodness in here. The legs can come out to the side on this hip joint. They can also come right out to the side. There is an upper rotation in there. We do get a bend at the knee. Again, lots of die cast in here, but some serious hindrance on those knees. And we get some sideways knee action as well. So we can kind of have a crabbing along if you see fit. And the toes and heels are independent of one another, and they are ratcheted. But yes, her articulation isn't amazing, but I think she makes up for it in sheer heft, bulk, strength, and awesomeness. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bilfar. She may not be the most nimble of characters, but if you're a fembot collector or just looking to bulk out your Decepticon and Generations army, then I can highly recommend her. And at $12.99 from Sir Toys, these guys are all steals. Absolutely fantastic figures. And not only do they look good, but they're actually fun toys. I've included a link in the description below where you can purchase this item. Until next time, from myself and Bilfar, thanks for watching. Goodbye.